Hello there, and welcome to Hammerman for today, December the 10th. And, oh jeez, that's a scary thought. That means 2 weeks. Really, like ultimately 2 weeks of shopping. Ooh. Fortunately, I'm done, so I don't have anything to worry about, but like 2 weeks. Dear God. Anyways, coming at you with Hammerman today. And pretty standard for the first little bit. So instead of talking about that, I'm going to talk about the Q4 BBS 3, which is the Quest for Boom Beach Supremacy 3 tournament, which I did a video fairly recently on how to sign up for all that and whatnot. But they kind of passed on some extra information to me and let me know that their website is up and operational, which is q4bbs3.com, which, you know, in case you want to go and look at rules or look at whatever. And also there is an info channel on Telegram can't say but the address is at q4bbs, which is like an info channel, and then at Q4BBS3 for the chat, so you can, you know, talk with all the other people who are in there for the things and the stuffs. That being said, do not worry if you jump in and there's possibly a chance of a absolute storm of smack talk going on. There tends to be, at least in the previous tournaments. There's been a pretty steady ram. How do I put this? There's some smack talk. Honestly, I'm just gonna leave it at that. But don't worry, everybody's really fun, and it's in good nature, even though some of the things said might be a little ridiculous. Like, you're gonna lose. Anyways, definitely hop in there if you're interested. Take a look. It'll give you a lot of information. You can find out a lot of things, and you can talk to people who have done it a couple of times to see if it's even worth doing, if that's what you're into. And by all means, like, don't feel like you've got to be a pro at FH, or you need to have like perfect 6'4" statues or anything like that to compete in this tournament, because it is I guess it's a 4-man, and it's just like a best effort or getting the most points. Even if your statues are a little lower, the levels of the op hits that they're doing are like around the stronghold region. They obviously kind of wibble wobble around in that area, but like, you don't need perfect statues. You don't need to be maxed. Obviously it helps, but like, you know, go in there, try it out, have some fun, you know, do it with some of your buddies who are also in the same area of statues and or levels. And even if you get your butts handed to you, at least you could talk some serious trash to some people, which in itself can be so entertaining. Anyways, this all being said, I'm going to get down to the important stuff, which is the Hammerman type of defenses things. Still no Grens. The Grens have not returned. So glad, because the Grens were just, they were getting a little ridiculous. What Hammerman did throw at us this week, though, is all of the tanks. All of the tanks. It was kind of ridiculous. I thought it was pretty impressive, actually. And when I say tanks, I don't necessarily just mean tanks, but like, yes, tanks, because there's tanks on like almost every level, but also for stage 7, like super heavies galore. He went heavy on the heavies. So things were pretty intense this time through. However, as you can see in the top right-hand corner there, I have a couple of Doom Cannons and a Hot Pocket, fortunately, just kind of sitting back there, because I wanted to shove them into the back, out of the way, where they wouldn't really cause any problems or add any support to my standard defenses while I was trying to go through and do things. Unfortunately, as it turns out, the Doom Cannons have quite the reach on them. So, stages 1 through 5, very easy to get through. As long as you got max defenses, you're not going to have any problems. Stage 6, I feel like it's sort of the same neighborhood where maybe you'd have to go back and change something, you know, like pull a few defenses out that were getting barraged and shove them over in the corner of your base, or you know, rearrange where some things are so that when critters or shocks land, it doesn't take out like super key defenses or something. So 6, I feel like, just with a few very minor changes, would have been no problem, would have been able to get through it without the need of any kind of prototype weapon. But 7? Oh. And I'm saying this because, as it turns out, I cruised through everything by leaving the prototypes kind of in line, because ultimately the way this base works is like it takes out as many offensive troops as possible and then funnels the remainder of the troops in through all of the non-defensive buildings, which of course brings them right into line with the Doom Cannons and the Hot Pocket, and like, dang, you know what I'm saying? Like, dang. The Hot Pocket and the Doom Cannons make work out of pretty much anything that comes through. So I did take down all levels with 0 losses. I just kind of like cruised through it, even though I maybe necessarily, like, I kind of intended on, you know, going through and rearranging things. I didn't realize the power of the Doom Cannons and Hot Pockets, which is, I don't know, I wasn't thinking. I'm kind of tired. Christmas is upon us, so like, you know, there's been Christmas office parties and Christmas family parties and Christmas parties and reindeer running around and elves doing weird things, and some guy keeps trying to climb in my chimney. I don't even get it, but it's, you know, so like things are happening that are maybe bringing my brain cells down a little bit. Like, I'm just so tired, I'm having a hard time getting through things. Now, I thought this was really cool because this is stage 6, obviously. I have like 3 defenses. If I didn't have the stupidly placed prototype defenses in there, I still feel like this would have been, like, without any changes, would have been possible, because I've got all these riflemen going around in behind, and I feel like the tanks kind of like veered off towards my actual defenses, and they were slowly going through it, and had I not had the Doom Cannons and stuff, I still would have had this rocket launcher finishing off riflemen. I think I would have gotten the defense even without any prototypes interfering, even if I didn't want said prototypes interfering. But who knows, I could be just horribly wrong. Or, you know, who knows, maybe I could have pulled it off. There's no way of telling unless, you know, I had a second account that I could do Hammerman on with the exact same defenses and the exact same layout and the exact same prototypes. And that's just not going to happen because I can barely keep one running, let alone 2. Anyways, stage 7, here we are. First couple of boats are just crazy amounts of riflemen. When you're doing your defense, you're going to want to burn these mofos down as fast as possible, because the third boat is the heavies that I was talking about earlier. And I tell you right now, like, I threw a lot of damage down. You're not going to get through 8 boats of heavies before the freaking medics hit the freaking beach. Oh! Yeah, those medics like come right up in behind the heavies, and it turns into just an invincible blob rolling through everything. Now the good news is I have 2 Doom Cannons sitting in the back there just doing work on these heavies and like just turning that wall into mincemeat. And even those Doom Cannons, I'm struggling here, sorry. those Doom Cannons aren't able to get through them all. Like, the Hot Pocket has to come in and, like, just clinch victory, this bad boy, by taking out the medics and the riflemen and all the things. So what it comes down to is, my god, Stage 7 is going to be nasty. I do not doubt for half a second I definitely would have needed to bring out the prototype weapons to make this happen. Anyways, guys, thanks very much for watching. Hopefully this has been helpful. Hopefully it's been entertaining. And above all else, hopefully you guys have a fantastic day.